What is up, guys? Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video. In this video, I'm going to be building the ultimate RTX 3050 gaming setup. With a 280Hz monitor, mechanical 70% keyboard and surround sound gaming headset, we really have gone all out. I'll also be taking a look at the PC that powers the setup and makes the whole thing possible, with an RTX 3050 at the heart. Let's do this. Let's begin by diving into the PC build that's powering this setup. We recently put this together in a dedicated video which you can check out on the channel, but in short, it's got a Ryzen 5 5600X, ASUS RTX 3050, 16 gigs of RAM, a Gen 4 SSD, and is housed inside the Cooler Master HAF 500 case, one of their newest remasters of the legendary HAF lineup. With a 240mm all-in-one liquid cooler, 3 120mm and 2 200mm fans, it's a system designed for high airflow, low temperatures, and really perfecting the performance you're able to achieve with the 3050. Some of you may be wondering why I didn't just tone down some of the other components and spend more on the GPU. Well, the 3050 so far looks like it might be one of the easiest RTX cards to find, and the hope is that the pricing on the 3050 should be far less inflated than on other models. As our gaming tests have already shown, the 3050 can run the latest AAA titles at 1080p high settings and achieve more than 100 frames per second. But in games like Fortnite at competitive settings, Valorant, and of course older games like CSGO, you can achieve more than 2 or even 300 frames per second. And that's where the monitor for this setup comes in, the ASUS VG279QM, or something along those lines. With an IPS panel, it visually looks great, a 1 millisecond response time which helps to keep input lag to a minimum, perfect to pair up with NVIDIA Reflex, input lag busting technology on the 3050 itself, and a 280Hz refresh rate. This might be one of the best high refresh rate panels on the market. If there's one thing that ASUS do really well, it's making a good monitor, and this one is no exception. The form factor is perfect for gaming as well. 32 inches, at least for an FPS game, is a bit too big in my opinion as it springs into action, but other features like HDR support built in and NVIDIA G-Sync, which will help to basically eradicate screen tearing on compatible NVIDIA cards, the 3050 is one. It ticks so many boxes, and is a monitor, let's be honest, that's designed more to work with NVIDIA cards than it is AMD. Something you should definitely bear in mind when looking to pick up your next gaming panel. One of the other great features of this monitor is its support for VESA mounting, which you can see we've utilised with this monitor arm. The included stand you get is pretty great, but actually being able to mount this off a desk and have it sort of float in is in my opinion far better. Not only ergonomically, but also from the perspective of having your keyboard and mouse underneath and keeping the whole aesthetic as minimal and as sharp as possible. When it comes to monitors and peripherals, ASUS really kill it. And thankfully the ROG components don't stop there for this build, as the ROG Delta is the headset of choice for our setup today. A 7.1 USB-C surround sound headset. It's got a really solid included microphone, which we'll be testing out shortly, so don't go anywhere. It also feels super comfortable and has 2 different ear cup finishes included. More of a leatherette sort of feel, but then also you get a foam, which gives, in my opinion, a bit more air, a bit more breathing room, and helps to keep your ears a little bit more cool. RGB as well is also integrated onto the headset, which we can sync up using ASUS Aura Sync with our RTX 3050, which too is going to light up like a Christmas tree. A bit late for that joke, I appreciate, but nevertheless still really great. This is a really comfortable headset though. It's not wireless, which is a bit of a shame, but we're trying not to break the bank too much on the setup and to have a bit more money left over to splurge on higher end parts like the monitor. With really nice Republic of Gamers branding on the headrest, a very lightweight design as well, which helps to prevent fatigue, and just little touches like the ASUS ROG logo, a switch to turn on and off the Aura lighting, and a volume rocker to turn up and down your volume through windows, rather than having an independent volume on the headset itself. It really is such a solid option. Speaking of solid options, it doesn't get any more solid than the next component we've picked up, the Corsair K70 RGB TKL. Now this right here is a 10 keyless design, and what that basically means is Corsair went, number pad? No, Not today, sunshine. They got rid of it. And for me, that's personally a huge bonus. You still get all the great keys from a full-size layout, something I find too difficult to lose on a 60 or 65% design. You still get the nice spacing between your arrow keys and your actual QWERTY section of the keyboard too, and with dedicated media control keys, a volume wheel, and switches to turn off the RGB lighting, or to turn on the Windows lock, it really couldn't do much more right. USB-C, feet that help to raise the keyboard up, and these really cool included WASD textured keycaps which mold around your fingers and help to better feel the keyboard in certain titles. It really is fantastic. RGB lighting as well is always awesome with Corsair components, and the use of Corsair iCUE is something I'm never going to turn down. Keyboard looks great, has all the features we could possibly want, and the lack of a number pad, once again, helps with the cleanness of your setup, and also helps to get your mouse closer to the keyboard. Something a lot of FPS gamers do find particularly useful. Speaking of the mouse choice today, I've gone for a Cooler Master MM700. Now, don't get me wrong, if you wanted the most cohesive setup in the world and you had a bit more cash to spend, then Corsair's M65 range would be a great choice. But this is a lightweight mouse that doesn't have any holes in, something I'm personally not a huge fan of. It's got a paracord cable to help reduce cable resistance, with a 16,000 dpi optical sensor, switches rated for more than 70 million clicks, and a weight that comes in at less than 50 grams. It's just a really great option. A very simple design, forward and back buttons on the mouse itself, no Cooler Master logo, no RGB lighting, just nice, simple and sleek. And a switch to adjust the DPI at the rear. Make sure you install the included software for the mouse as well, as that will really help you fine tune everything, get the firmware up to date and iron out any early bugs Cooler Master may have had with the design. Finally, to wrap things up today, we've also gone ahead and picked up the Cooler Master MM700. I just said Cooler Master, I meant Corsair, the MM700 RGB. And now this here is an extended mousepad with an RGB outer ring that's not only addressable but completely adjustable, once again in Corsair iCUE. Don't get me wrong, if you wanted to save a little bit of cash, Corsair, Cooler Master, how do I keep getting them confused? In my head, they're totally two separate things, but my mouth just says no. Now this is once again USB-C. It actually has a USB pass-through on as well. So if you wanted to plug up your keyboard or your mouse, or even something like a memory stick to the mousepad, you could definitely do so. The extended mousepad will not only give you a greater surface area for your mouse, it also helps to protect your desk and gives the whole setup just a much cleaner aesthetic. This rounds off a really solid selection of peripherals, though I'll also be linking some alternative choices in the description below, including this Corsair K55 Pro XT that actually has Elgato Stream Deck support built in on your programmable keys. This isn't a mechanical keyboard, it's instead a mechanical keyboard, but will save you some cash and give you a greater feature set if that's something you're more concerned about. You still get media keys, you still get Windows lock, you still get all of the fancy Corsair add-ons with iCUE support, but to be honest with you, the K70 TKL is, in my opinion, a slightly better gaming choice at least. Cooler Master also have a wireless version of the MM730 out as well, if you don't mind a tiny bit more weight and then any latency that a wireless connection introduces, though early testing for us has been incredibly promising. I'm going to go ahead and actually wire the whole setup up, connect power, DisplayPort, USBs, and I'll rejoin you in a second to turn on the setup for the very first time. With all the cables in theory, we should be ready to power the system up. I'm actually a little bit nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Let's hit the power button. Oh, that was, like immediate. Okay, RGB's on. Cooler looks amazing. 200mm fans at the front look good as well. We're getting a few reflections off this glass side panel. So let me just pop that one off so you guys can see better inside the system. That's a bit nicer, isn't it? This case from Cooler Master actually has their built-in adjustable fan, which you can use to push more airflow towards the GPU, which is really cool as well. RGB lights look good. We have no signal. Maybe that's because I turned the monitor off a moment ago. So let's turn it on. Okay, here we go. ASUS NVIDIA G-Sync, give me Windows 10. Come on. Windows 10? Hello, Windows 10. Right, so I don't know exactly if this is what's happened, but I think maybe by having the monitor off when the PC turned on, messed it up somewhat. Let's try turning the monitor back on, or not. Okay, monitor's on. Now we'll turn the PC on, and hopefully it should find it easier to output a display signal. The HDMI is plugged in, It's quite a long HDMI. That looks promising. Yes, go on, go on, go on. Yay, bingo. Often if you find that with a system and it's not quite working, make sure your peripherals are plugged in. Make sure the monitor is powered up and turned on before you actually boot the system up for the first time. That often explains why it can't output the signal, because the graphics card goes, there's no screen, there's no display, there's no resolution. So actually, if you have the monitor on in the first place, your Windows should initiate, and in theory, we should be gaming in a matter of moments. We can now jump into the gaming benchmark portion of the video, where I'm going to test out a few strategic games to see how the setup performs. I'm going to look at some of the more heavy first-person shooters in a moment, but first load up the brand new Forza Horizon 5. This is one of the more difficult games to run right now. It ticks the racing box for our benchmarks today and looks visually stunning. It's also a really easy one for you to compare with your own system at home, as you can run the same benchmark test with the same settings and see what frame rates you get. So I'm going to run at 1080p HD, and then if we jump back into the graphical settings, we're also going to run at pretty much high settings across the board, bit of motion blur there, and we can start the benchmark mode. You'll also notice in the top left we've got the CPU clock speed, so we can make sure our 5600 is boosting up to the right speeds and staying nice and chilly with our Flux 240mm cooler. It literally is lights out and away we go as the benchmark starts in 3, 2, 1, go! Here we go, lovely stuff. Straight away, 85 frames per second straight out the doors. Even though this game doesn't have any ray tracing support, it still looks really very good. We'll be looking at those RTX features on the 3050 shortly though. That 100 FPS mark is awesome for a racing game. You may want more in a first-person shooter, but these results are fantastic. 1080p high settings is exactly where the 3050 was designed to thrive. As we round off into the final portion of the benchmark, we've got our results in. We've got 90 FPS on average with our Ryzen 5 5600 and our RTX 3050. Now we're also going to go ahead and test out Fortnite. Fortnite is still one of the most popular games out right now, and for good reason. And with support for DLSS, we should be able to get some great results. Once again, we'll be using MSI Afterburner and Riva Tuner to keep an eye on the frame rates, and we can just jump in and configure our graphical settings in here. So you can see we're running at 1080p, we've got competitive settings going on, everything tuned down to low, render distance set to far, and then we also have DLSS enabled and on performance mode. What this is going to do is going to render the game out at a slightly lower resolution, and then use AI to upscale it back up. Something which really works effectively on the 3050. So let's take a look at the results we're able to achieve. I've placed my waypoint down, I'm on the final descent, and we're currently sitting around 150 frames per second, utilising of course some of the refresh rate of this high refresh panel. Boom! First kill of the game. That was nice and easy. I heard action. I wanted a piece of it. I've got a piece of it. Oh no, I'm crouched. I don't know how to get out of the crouch. No. Yeah! Absolutely fantastic. That was... Right, I see good shots over it in the distance. I'm going to head for it. I want some action. Frame rate, though, really good, by the way. 187, 196, over 200 at some points as well. That's pretty amazing to see. Not surprising at all, though, when you consider the power of the 3050. A card that blows AMD's new and admittedly slightly cheaper 6500 XT literally out of the water. There's someone else there. I see it. Oh, another kill. Easy peasy. Oh, no. I don't want anything to do with him. Oh, no. Definitely not. Oh, no, definitely not. Can I kill him? Yeah. Okay, mistake was made. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Big mistake. Big mistake. Running through the grass. He'll never see me. He will never see me. Oh, he's very much so has seen me. Very much so has seen me. And he's good. My goodness, he's good. Oh, there's another one. How many is that? 5. Go on there, boys. Get in there. Oh, no. There's the bloody zone. Zone. No. Oh, no. Go. What the you got? No. I'm going to jump into the voice recorder on Windows and actually give you guys a microphone test. So now you are listening to the built-in microphone on the ASUS ROG STRIX Delta gaming headset. Actually really passable. Not going to make you the next Twitch streamer, I don't think, but is going to be great for communicating with friends on Discord, taking Skype calls, all of that jazz. Sounds really great. We'll switch back to our normal audio now, which is a $300 studio microphone, and then back again to the ASUS ROG Delta mic. perfectly passable, perfectly usable, and nice to have it included with this actually very good value headset. I've calmed myself down, I've loaded Battlefield 2042. You can see running at 1080p. It's picked up the 240 Hz of the monitor. It overclocks further to 280, but 240 is fine for now. All of our graphics settings here on high. We have got DLSS enabled once again, and NVIDIA Reflex enabled to once again minimize that input lag. And we're sitting straight away at 70 FPS so far. Not too bad at all. Yes, lovely stuff. Frame rate's really solid, but we are properly being smashed right now. Oh my goodness. Oh, oh, nah. Oh. Sorry, this game is just concentration central. But frame rate's really good. Couple of kills on the board. 88, 92 FPS. Really, really, really great. I'm going to try the other side of the map, I think. And I'm going to just leave you all to it while I continue to game. Or not. Great. Nice one. Really, really great spawn there. Fantastic. Either way, though, this is a setup that performs really well in not only Forza Horizon 5, Battlefield and Fortnite, but a range of other games too, which you can learn more about with the graphic on the screen now that our in-house benchmark whiz Harry has kindly put together. You can also go ahead and check out our full range of RTX 3050 builds, including this one right here, to see exactly how it's done. Thanks for tuning into this video though, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.